You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I saw this and was like, well, this is interesting. That anybody that, and this person is a radio host that covers the Raiders, but him suggesting that the Raiders might be sitting back looking at the Browns going, man, they're dysfunctional as hell. Well, I did a video last night, and we talked about exactly how dysfunctional the Raiders are right now, too. Look, when you have no clear power structure, and you've got somebody answering to somebody here, and then somebody answering to somebody here, we find out Chip Kelly wasn't even answering to Pete Carroll as the OC of a team that was coached by Pete Carroll. Instead, he was answering to Tom Brady, and if Pete Carroll gets fired, it's going to be Mark Davis. It won't be John Spytek, and it won't be Tom Brady. I mean, who knows? And look, the Browns are very, very dysfunctional. Trust me, we talk about the Browns a lot on this channel, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this video is like, yeah, Rhodes talks about this a lot. Jimmy Haslam, one of the worst owners ever. Mark Davis feels like he's following suit. You know, Maxx Crosby benched. I get it. They're trying to get a high draft pick. They want Dante Moore. They want Fernando Mendoza. I get all that. But Maxx Crosby wanted to play. They benched him. He left the facility. Pete Carroll was like, yeah, he did leave. We said during the live stream last night, I said that I felt like Maxx Crosby be a Dallas Cowboy next year. You might be like, what does all this got to do with the Browns? Well, the Browns got a coach right now named Kevin Stefanski. And much to Browns fans' dismay or confusement, is that a word? I don't know. But they're sitting back watching people talk about the fact that Kevin Stefanski is going to be in demand as a head coach around the league, and they're blaming the Browns' dysfunctionalness around the team as a reason. They're literally saying, Kevin Stefanski, nobody could win there. And he actually won there twice in 2 seasons. He had 11 wins. And people are literally looking at that and going, that's a hell of a feat. So, flagship radio host Q Myers shared a potential replacement he would be on board with if Carroll was to ultimately be fired. Quote, Kevin Stefanski won't be out of a job long if the Browns let him go. He'll get picked up really quick. That would be a coach that I'd definitely be interested in, Myers said on the Locked On Raiders Squad show podcast. I think Kevin Stefanski's a really good coach. I think the situation in Cleveland, he did not want. I don't think the situation in Cleveland that they have right now, Andrew Berry, the GM, wanted it, Myers continued. That's just from everything I know and the people that I know that are there. This is not what it looks like from the outside. I think Kevin Stefanski's a really good coach. I think he'll have a handful of teams that are chasing him if he gets let go. Every year, that's like what? 7 or 8 teams that have head coaching openings. Yeah, he'll get scooped up quick. Stefanski's in his 6th season with the Browns, 2 11-win seasons. If Tom Brady and company go that route of taking a young quarterback in the 2026 draft, they could do a lot worse than pairing him up with Stefanski, who is one of the most respected offensive coaches in the league. Browns fans just in unison threw something across the room. They just threw something across the room. Right? A lot of Browns fans right now that are like, well, he couldn't develop Dillon Gabriel. He couldn't develop Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He couldn't develop Shedeur Sanders. But I get their point. And there's a good chance Stefanski would be the Giants head coach if the Browns let him go. His first year, that was 11-5 season, then 8-9. Keep in mind, think about Hugh Jackson being with Cleveland. 8 wins would have looked like winning the Super Bowl. 8-9, 7-10, 11-6, 3-14, 3-12, and it looks like, if you see their schedule, it looks like they're going to finish 3-14 for the second consecutive year. I don't know how you survive that as a head coach. What is that going to be? 6-28? Yikes. I don't know. I don't know. So over on Cowboys Wire, Cowboys should make a trade offer at a 5-time Pro Bowl Raiders star. Well, who do you think that is? That's Maxx Crosby, right? On Saturday, the Raiders declared that they were tanking, sitting down Crosby for the last 2 weeks of the season. Despite the defensive end vehemently wanting to continue to play, Crosby, despite multiple injuries throughout the season, hasn't missed a game yet and wanted to keep playing. And look, the Cowboys have done a fairly good job of reloading their defense. A lot of people think Eberflus is going to be out the door. But they still need a defensive end after Parsons was traded. The Cowboys shouldn't part with their top draft pick, expected to land in the top half of the round. The Cowboys could potentially end up with a player they identify as one of the draft's top 10 talents. However, the club has other assets they could use to interest the Raiders. Dallas should package a first-round pick they got from Green Bay in the Parsons deal, along with I'm not even trying to say that name. I know who that is. OD is a Zua. Fuck it. OC. And a 2027 pick to the Raiders for Crosby. So that's what it would look like, right? First-round pick, OC, and a third-round pick in 2027 for Maxx Crosby and a 2027 fifth-round pick. I've said for a while, most of the season, I did not think Maxx Crosby would be back. That in fact, I think there was a chance the Cowboys came close to making a deal like this for him at the trade deadline. All right? The problem with the Cowboys, besides Matt Eberflus, is the fact that they made them the defensive trades that they made about 3 weeks too late. If they would have made those trades about 3 weeks earlier, I think we're right here this weekend looking at the Cowboys as a in the hunt or possibly back into the playoff kind of team. And they got a little better after these acquisitions, but it's a mess with Eberflus he's going to be gone. I mean, Jerry's all but said Eberflus is out. And they got a historically bad defense. They desperately need somebody that can rush the passer. Yeah, they've gotten much better at stopping the run, but they can't pressure the quarterback as well as they'd like to. Again, who's running the Raiders? Is it Tom Brady? Is it Mark Davis? Is Pete Carroll coming back? What's John Spytek's role? He looks like the most limp dick sumbitch in the entire room now. I mean, honestly. Wow. But him and Brady are tight, so he's got job security. Pete Carroll looks like the odd man out. Kevin Stefanski. Somewhere Browns fans are smiling, going, yeah, do this. Now, if we're sitting here this time next year and Stefanski's won 10 games with the Raiders, we're going to be making this video again. You know? Because I do oddly believe that there are people around the league that view Stefanski in the same way that people viewed Vrabel. And that the Titans gave up on Vrabel too soon after a couple of down years. They let him go, and now we've all seen what's going on in New England. And that's what they're doing, is they're relating that back to Stefanski. I know one thing, he's going to have options. If he's not a head coach, he'll probably be the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.